Grand rising, everybody. Natalie coming to live. Spirit and coffee. Got my coffee here. Mm. Okay, let's get started. Don't have a whole lot of time, so I'm gonna make this short and quick. I have about 10 minutes. So there you go. I have a meeting that I got to get on. Okay, so let's get started. Hopefully, people will show up. We were doing dialogues with Hermes, and so we'll just start from there. We're on page 44. Good morning, whoever just got on here. So if God is the one mind, which is above, and the devil must be the one thing, which is the below, aren't the above and the below simply what we conceive of as heaven and hell? So here we go. Such labels are inventions that serve worldly ends, for the true above and below living beyond description. In my tablet, I have revealed all that can be spoken of the unlimited regions. The above is the abode of the one mind, and the below is the abode of the one thing. You need know nothing more because nothing more is knowledgeable. You cannot label the infallible. Work instead with the tiny spark of consciousness of which you are possessed. That spark can be fanned into a blazing gnosis that burns away the falsity of your tragic self deception. After that, or thereafter, can you verify for yourself that which I speak? You can behold the one mind, you can touch the one thing. This is critical. And the funny thing that's happening right now, if you start looking on Gaia, they're starting to talk about the esoteric wisdom, and they're starting to talk about alchemy. See, alchemy is starting to take front and center stage in a lot of different places. Why? Because people are waking up to the truth. That's why. And as people wake up and search, they start to go into what we call conspiracy theories. Well, conspiracy theories only get you so far. First of all, they're just theories. And secondly, people want to understand how they created the world that we see around us, and alchemy is the way. That is the way. So these people that are coming out and acting like they just discovered all this new stuff, it's a lie, first of all. This stuff has been around forever, and it's been right in front of us, and there's been the teachings have been in front of us forever. We've all had access to these teachings. We just chose not to dive into them. And so now people are coming out and of course making tons of money on, saying, here's what I found. Well, this has been the one mind and the one thing has been around for however long, right? This is not new knowledge. This is ancient wisdom, and it's been written about over and over again. So we have access to it, and you have access to it. This allows you to create a world that you choose to make to your liking. So we now see that people are really taking this wisdom and starting to construct whole new worlds. And we have it on the inner and the outer. So we have a bunch of different ways that this storyline is starting to shift. We have individuals wanting to go to Mars and colonize. Like, I don't even understand that. Where's the water? That's my big question. Like, why would you do that when you have a perfectly good planet here? And if we just loved it and nurtured it and worked with it and appreciate it for its consciousness, we wouldn't have to leave this place. I don't get it. Why would I want to go to a barren planet and colonize it? I don't know what the mindset is behind that one. But then we have the metaverse, right? Or the multiverse or whatever they're calling it, the meta, whatever. And that's, digital world that they're creating. That's a whole other construct of another sort of consciousness that's being spread out into a new storyline or into a new way of seeing the world. So now we see that the storyline has been twisted in several different ways. And they're saying, hey, come live my myth, come live my story, come follow me. Well, follow you. How about that? Follow yourself, follow who you are. That's what's important. And I don't know, is Lorraine on here? Is that Lorraine? I think that's Lorraine. Good morning, Lorraine. I think that's you. How are you doing? Good to see you on here. Okay, we mean we can travel to the above and the below as you do. How can that be? What are the morals? Listen carefully. Thought is a bubble of being that erupts on the fabric of reality through the pattern I revealed in my tablet. Thus, you are immortal as your thoughts. And it is your notion of heaven and hell that keeps you earthbound because it weighs you down with fear and duplicity. So the duality is a big thing, a big part of this. This is part of the storyline that sort of created the Western world. And it started to, what it did is it broke off the connection and the consummation of the sacred feminine and masculine that we used to honor as in native traditions or just traditions around the world, cultures around the world. We see that the matriarchy and patriarchy were very much, um, when we look at ancient tradition, were very much honored in both. What happened in the Western world is this was separated, and that separation caused a huge rift between um individuals and the imagination even, and that's what really we're trying to come back to, is honoring the sacred feminine, and we're working our way back to the sacred feminine because we've sort of chained her, caged her, and put her away. We've locked her away. We said good morning, GP man. So the sacred feminine has sort of been taken out of the storyline, and that is the greatest trick they've done. And what they've done is that duality now is the duality we live in. So I talk about duality. Now, duality, the only reason why is because the language of duality is what we understand, because that's how we've been programmed: black, white, us, them, up, down. So that duality is the language that we utilize. Now we need to understand that the duality, it sounds like a duality, and we get these paradoxes where we run up against things that don't really make sense. So how can you be both nothing and everything at the same time? How does that even make sense, right? So we run up against this. And then we understand that the shadow and the light are part of the same continuum, and we try to find the middle path, right? That's where Buddhism comes into play. But here's the deal: the duality that we're experiencing, and that was created, was really a construct of the mind. The mind came up with this duality, and it was a construct of, I believe it was Plato, Aristotle, might have been Aristotle. Correct me if I'm wrong. You guys can go do your fact checkers, whoever it is, but came up with this duality concept, that we are outside of. That there's this scientific understanding, right? Left brain, right brain. So, and in that understanding, and when that started to occur, what ended up happening is we started to live out as though life was a duality: us versus them, black and white. So we get to bridge the duality. And I have to go, but I want to say one thing that was really important here. Um, the spark of consciousness. Instead, with it, let's see, here we go. Below and above, okay, you know nothing more because nothing more is knowable. You cannot label the infallible. Work instead with a tiny spark of consciousness, which you are possessed. That spark can be fanned into a blazing gnosis that burns away the falsity of the tragic self deception. We are our key. We are our own internal key. That's what that's telling you. Work with your own consciousness. When you start to expand the consciousness, you start to understand a little bit deeper, and then you start to be able to manifest and create in the material world. That is important. Okay. So there you have it. I have to go. Maybe I'll get on again. I don't know. But we're again doing the dialogues from Hermes, this Emerald Tablet, Alchemy for Personal Transformation. I just saw that Alchemy, this guy's talking about esoteric wisdom on Gaia now, acting like if it's some new discovery. Yeah, right. They've known this stuff forever. So it's not new. There's nothing new under the sun, and everybody has access to it. Don't let them fool you, okay? You guys are powerful and you have all of the information you need within. Just remember that, okay? All right, there you go. So I love you guys. Have a fantastical day, and I will see you tomorrow.